Hey guys, Czar here. Hope all is well. New 30-minute candle opening up on the, that's the Russell on the Dow right over here. Watching closely now. Sell stop order, guys. Taking this one right now. Time of day. Waiting for that break. And I believe I just got it actually. Nope, not yet. Here it comes. Give me one moment. Just going to my own platform. Watching super close here. And in, guys, in. Short the Dow. Now this is just a trade market. This is not my actual sizing. It's 2:01. So at 2 o'clock, this is the time very often when more volume comes in, and often there's a change in direction. Not always, but often. Risking 34 points. To make 68. I will show you the three sisters. You can see what's happening here. What a day. It's been quite a lockout rally, but you can see this rounding on the NASDAQ. You can see the same thing happening here on the S&P, and a failure to make a new high on the Dow. So basically a double top with a little bit of a penetration, which is a good thing. It's constructive to the short case. And then a failure to reach a new high, and then two double tops here, micro double tops, and then a break below structure right there, which was the entry point. Now, it's not following through, and that's a bit problematic, as you can imagine. But we were beyond 2.5 standard deviations on VWAP. Let me just show that to you here so you can see quite an extreme extension here. Two peaks or pivots above, and then finally a consolidation or a congestion period going sideways here in the first signs of a little bit of a breakdown, although not following through here at all for now. But we're going to trust the process and see where we go from here. This rejection wick is key, by the way. And so what this would look like, I'm just going to delete the clean traffic marker there, which was that arrow. This is the 30-minute chart again. I'm going to bring in another one of these zone markers to think in these terms. Now, this has not happened yet. If this rallies up, that is not a zone reversal area, potential zone reversal area at all. But it might become one, and often does. You'll notice that this point here, this zone, was actually down here. Tap, 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 but no break below prior candle. Did not happen. We just had that for the first time in a long, long time. Now, there was one over here, of course, much, much earlier, and that happened at, around 10:30 in the morning. But that was not that was not at a zone. It was in a clean traffic area. This is at a zone, never broke, and now potentially a breakdown below here, given the massive extension and the fact that we have been beyond 2 standard deviations here on VWAP. So this is kind of a confluence, or it really is a confluence of ideas here coming together. A break and close below the 21 on the NASDAQ, a break and close below the 21 on the S&P, and of course several here on the Dow with failures to reach new high. I think I've beaten that horse to death a few times here, so I'm going to put you on pause now, wait for this thing to play out. Pause. All right, so I've placed my targets, target 1, 2, and 3. The first target is at 1R, second target is at 1.5R, and the third target is at 2R. And you can see that comes all the way back here to the bottom of this big shift 30-minute candle. And that would be a 2R target right there. So risking 34 points to make 68 points. And we'll talk about different ways different traders would manage this particular trade. Back on pause. So here we have the Razor's Edge profit-taking models using 6 units as a foundation. Those 6 units could be 6,000 shares, 660 or 6 shares, for instance, and the equivalent on micro or mini contracts in the futures market, or CFDs, or lots or mini lots or micro lots in the Forex market. You get the idea, but just divisible by 6. Model 1 is an all or nothing model. In this case, in this particular example, it's a 1R all or nothing. If you're an all or nothing trader for 1R, you take your entire profit right here. Sorry guys, just had to cough there. Very dry air, so I muted the microphone, hopefully. Otherwise I blasted your ear. So the 1-to-1 trader would simply take all their profits off here at 1R and be done for the trade, right? And just leave. Model 2 is an equal scale out. That trader will take, let's say, 2 off at target 1, 2 units off at target 2, and 2 units off at target 3. Naturally, they might only get 2 units off at target 1, and then prices come back and take them out their stop. We'll talk about moving stop to break even here in a moment. Model 3 is a 3-2-1. You get the idea. 3 units here, 2 units here, and 1 unit here. And Model 4 is the opposite, taking off 1 unit at 1R, 2 units at target 2, and then 3 units at target 3. So pretty self-explanatory. Once you know those 4 models, you have a foundation to work with any combination of things. You can change the number of units, you can change the number of targets, all that type of thing. But this is just a rounded way to start thinking about your various profit-taking options when it comes to day trading in particular. And then we have the other side of the equation, of course, the stop losses. Just playing with PowerPoint over here, having a little bit of trouble. Here we go. It's different ways to handle stop loss. Some traders will leave their stop in place and never move it, so it just stays right there, and for the life of the trade, that's where it is. Either prices advance and take them out at various target levels according to one of these models, or it comes back and stops them out. Or you can trail the stop to break even and leave it at some point. Where and when you move your stop to break even is completely up to you. Many traders, once prices hit their first target, might move their stop to break even then. Maybe it gets to half of an R and they move to stop to break even. Maybe they needed to get to 1.5 R before they will do that. You get the idea. Trail the stop to target levels. If we hit target 1, maybe then the trader moves to break even. If we hit target 2, maybe they move their stop then to target 1. If it moves to target 3, the stop can move to target 2. If it moves to target 4, you move to target 3, and so on and so forth. Now, I only have 3 targets in this trade because of the nature of the setup. That's what I would like to do here in this trade. And then the final method is, of course, moving stops according to pivot levels. Let me move to a 1 minute chart here. Man, you can tell it's been a long day for me. These are pivots, right? So pivot, pivot, pivot. You can call this a pivot. So in this case, as prices pulled down, right, the trade was executed here, rallied up a little bit and drove down. When it passed break even, some traders might decide to move their stop to here, dramatically reducing the amount at risk. And then prices come on down and then rally back up for, call it half a candle. That trader might move their stop all the way down to break even now. And then if another pivot forms up here and drives down, they might move it to here and lock him along the way in that style, if you will. Hopefully you get the idea. We're driving down now to target 1, which is 1R. We'll see if we can get there on this trade. I'll put you on pause for now. I'll leave it on a 2-minute chart for now. Actually, I'll leave you here because it looks like we are going to drive down. At least we are for the time being. Patience here. All right, on pause now. And there we go, guys. We've hit target 1, which is 1R. So what does that mean? Well, it means that the Model 1 trader, all or nothing at 1R is done. They took profit, full profits, in a very profitable trade, and they're done with the trade and they move along. They wouldn't even be considering what happens next, except to look at it with FOMO and wish they would have stayed in, perhaps, if it does go down lower. If it comes back, they'll be glad they were out, of course, right? And there's some of the psychology about it. The Model 2 trader has now taken off 2 units, and they still have 4 exposed. The Model 3 trader has taken off 3 units, so half of their position has been scaled out. That's a partial, right? And as is the case with the Model 2, of course, Model 4 has only taken 1 unit out and is leaving the bigger chunk, 5 units still, to take more profits if the trade continues their direction. Now, when it comes to moving stops to break even, some traders will move to stop to break even when they hit 1R, as I mentioned earlier. Others will leave it where it is. Some may move it to half an R, right? So they're only risking half what they were before, and so on and so forth. And now I'll put you on pause and we'll wait for this thing to continue. And now we've hit target 2, which is 1.5R. So the target 2 all or nothing trader would take everything off here, right? Because this can be 1R, 2R, 3R. You can decide what your all or nothing is. The scale out trader has now taken off 4 units in total, 2 here and 2 here. The Model 3 trailer has taken out 5 units, 3 and 2. They only have 1 more unit running. And the Model 4, of course, has taken out 3 in total, 1 and then 2 here. So a bigger size at a more profitable place, right? And they will still have 3 units left. In terms of stop to break even, well, managing the stop, I should say, it could be still a break even. Perhaps now it could be moved to 1R or half an R, or if it moves it beyond 1.3R, which, 1.75R, then they can move to 1.5R. So many different ways to do it, and even getting me a little tongue-tied here, so I appreciate your patience here with me, guys, as I think this through in terms of how I want to teach it and show it. Your patience is much appreciated. Back on pause, and we'll follow this thing through. Okay, you can see, so we were being bought up here just beyond target 2 or 1.5R. The trader who moved their stop to target 1 as a result of hitting target 2 would now be stopped out at a nice profit. Model 1 traders already out. Model 2 scaled out 4 units, and depending on what they did with their stop, could still be in for the remaining 2 units. And you know what happens here with the others too. Same sort of concept. I won't keep repeating it. Pulling back now. I will tell you, in case you're interested, I would at least be at break even in my own account, at least. And again, I'm tempted to tell you what I did in my own trade here, but I'm moving away from that, as I discussed in my video on profit taking and moving stops or stop loss management. I'm so used to doing it after 645, I believe, videos that I'm tempted to say, well, here's what I've done. But I really am going to try to not do that. And so I appreciate your support in that as well. I want my group followers and viewers on YouTube to begin to construct models for themselves and to think for themselves. And especially the newer traders who have getting started, is to get started in a way where they're not directly necessarily copying another trader's way of doing things from a technical standpoint or from a mindset standpoint. Although from a psychological, mental game standpoint, absolutely adopt the values and the beliefs and the routines, mental game routines of successful traders. But I meant mindset in terms of how they approach their setups, because each trader's setup should be unique in the way that they are framed in their brain wiring. And I've done videos on this as well, and I do encourage you to watch my mental game playlist in totality many times over, and you might see things change fairly dramatically in a fairly short period of time as you reprogram and recondition your mental game. And that has been the feedback, by the way, not just here on YouTube, but for years before that when I helped traders with their mental game. Back on pause for now. New low for the move. Let's see if we can get one more big push here to hit that final target 3, which would be a full 2R and 68 points on the Dow. Trying to make a new low here for the move. Just need one more good solid push here, some caffeine to come in. It's being supported by the Three Sisters, by the way. I won't flip over there now, but there's a new low. One more surge and we will hit this thing. Think about these in the context of what's happening right now, the various models. What would you have done? What model would you choose for a trade that looks just like this, or a setup that looks just like this? Because of course you need to make that decision before you take the trade. How would you do it? And what stop loss management method would you use? And that one you can kind of work with inside of the trade, depending on what's happening around you, what time of the day it's become during the trade, how long you've been in the trade, whether there's some news coming up or has just finished, anything like that. What correlated assets are doing, that's a big one for me, by the way. I will give you that little tip. I'm watching the Three Sisters at all times over here, for instance. Oops, and there we go, guys. The Three Sisters, though, do lend very much to what I do with my stop losses. We're done, guys. Hit 2R, 68-point winner on the Dow. It's a zone reversal trade. Now, here's the important thing to understand here, that all 4 of these models profited fully according to their model. The most profitable model that you see here would be model 4. This is the trader that took 3 units off at the furthest position, 2 and 1. But the model 1 was a 1R all or nothing at 6R, right? So, or 6 units right here. Unless you happen to be a 2R all or nothing trader, and there are many, and I've traded like that for years. I'm not saying this trade, I'm saying that I've traded like that for years, 2 all or nothing. If that's the case, the most profitable model would be model 1, using 2R instead of 1R as the all or nothing. Okay? So it didn't matter what you did with your break even, or if you moved to break even, I should say, it didn't make any difference. All 4 models were fully profitable according to the model structure. Hope that helps. Have an amazing day, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking the like button and saying hi in the comments. Have an amazing night. We'll talk soon.